Hello everyone, this is Cody Jack, and here I am redoing this first video mainly because I finally finished this game, but I will discuss how I went through Black Myth Wukong. Of course, there's spoilers ahead. I forgot to do this last time, my apologies. I have been busy all week. Anyway, first starts off with Sun and Wukong, basically I almost said Son Goku for some reason. Anyway, start with Sun Wukong looking over his mountain at basically the armies of heaven coming to him, basically just to fight him and stuff, usual shit. Anyway, oh, by the way, language. I forgot to mention that. I will say some language. Anyway, and he starts off with Wukong going literally in front of the entire army. He basically saying, hey, I've done everything that I was supposed to do, and all I wanted was to live in my mountain. And, hey, I get it. No one up there trusts me. I understand that, and they send you guys to threaten me to get back up there. Again, I understand that. But when he gets really pissed off about it is him saying,
but what I don't understand is, you bastards killing my kind!
basically, after he says that stuff, we get to see a certain dog and man on top of the biggest guy there. I don't know his name. I only know the four heavenly kings from Journey to the West and the story of Monkey King. Anyway, the dog goes all the way down, trying to act intimidating to Wukong. But then, the famous Erlang, I can't remember the last name, my apologies. Anyway, Erlang basically, he says, as no one but him can challenge him to a duel. And basically, he says, is I win, and they destroy your mountain, and I take you to the Celestial Court. You win, they still destroy your mountain, because I am angry. All that stuff about boasting how superior he is to him and stuff. Wukong, he just laughs it off like,
all these years, except for that pig, you're the one who talks the tallest tale.
Then of course, he starts the fight, and everything went basically as you expect. A tutorial, learning all the movesets, learning out all the fighting, everything in practically normal. Then when you get him all the way down to his health bar, it looks as if you're in the middle of watching Dragon Ball or any other anime with this kind of fighting set. Like, seriously, look at this. So yeah, after that badass cutscene, we get to the part where Wukong just says, how about you fight me in the woods if you have the guts? Then of course flies away as a bird. Erlang does the same thing, flies away as a bird, and something weird happens. Basically, while they were flying away, Wukong happens to get a major headache, and it turns out it's his old headband, and that if you know Journey to the West, you know what it's capable of doing to him. Basically, while he's distracted, Erlang stabs him and brings him down to the mountain. And that's where the legendary Sun Wukong supposedly died. Then after that, a few hundred years into the future, where it's still, somehow the same period, where we meet an old monkey who explains his remains are still inside this rock that we see in the center of the mountain. And supposedly, in order to bring Wukong back, or resurrect him, or you get the point, you need 6 relics that supposedly were part of his body. and all that stuff. Then we meet the character we play as Monkey, or how most people called him, the Destined One. A whole ordeal and stuff. We don't actually know his true name, but basically you play as him the rest of the game till eventually you beat it. Then after that, we get to another cutscene where we see a peach on the ground, and these two wolf-like people see it and try to take a bite of it. But guess what? Turned out to be me inside that thing. Then, of course, as we beat them, look around and stuff, finding chests, fighting other enemies and stuff. Then we see a shrine where we keep hearing a voice saying, pluck your hair into it to make an offering. Then we see this old man come out, saying we look exactly like him. And after that, tells him stories about the temple, which, by the way, we head to as the monkey. As this happens, as we still continue our journey, looking around, seeing what kind of enemies, till we find our first boss fight as Monkey. I can't say he was difficult for me, but he did it almost kill me. Yeah. But we get into a tiny cutscene where the old man shows up, basically teaching us a spell to like freeze our enemies at one point to help us defeat our enemies next time. And it does help a bit with some bosses, but not all of them. Some bosses cannot be like frozen that easily, but still pretty useful. Anyways, it's after we defeated the boss, as we decided to look around more, and stuff, until we went to like this little area where two bosses were in actually. First one I met was the famous Blue Baby Face. I can't remember his name. Terrible with remembering the names and pronouncing them. Anyway, I died to him so many times, so I decided to upgrade myself and keep, getting stronger before I fight him. Then I meet this wolf man, and who also is a boss. It took me a few tries, not as many as Blueface, but I was able to defeat him, and after that I was actually able to transform into him. Makes it easier for me to fight enemies. By the way, when that happens, turns out new health bar and everything. Nice. After that I see this bell and everything behind me, the wolf guy, and I decided to ring it, which made a loud bang, but I hear that old man's voice saying, "Good job, now everyone knows you're here." Which made me wonder, hey, it was open, and I don't care. So far, I like hearing the sound, okay? After that, I decided to go up to Blueface, and I finally defeated that bastard. Then after that, I went past where he was guarding, and found a little gateway and stuff, which, by the way, I meet the old man again with an extra shrine to go to. But he warns me about a wolf that's guarding the place. So I go in anyway, even though he warned me not to. Then after that, we see this big monster, wolfman, whatever. I cannot remember his name, my apologies, but it took me 2 tries to defeat this guy, mainly because I had some problems at home, so don't blame me. Okay, anywho. I went past where he was guarding, and fought a few guys, found a few more shrines, things to look into. Then I meet this old man, and with a gorg on his back, like talking very questionable stuff, because I have no clue what he's talking about. Anywho, he basically grabs our healing potions, and actually upgrades it a bit. By making sure we can and refill it by using the souls of some of the enemies we've defeated, and some of those green floating soul-looking things. Those things actually help out, and it does help out fill all the things, so that way I didn't have to visit the shrine a lot. Then after that, we went through a bunch of snakes that actually kept poisoning me. So I really got annoyed. Somehow the skeletons were the easiest. mainly because they were all out of poison. Then I meet this purple-looking guy who actually like I'm not sure if it was either showing me respect or at least like showing like me as an equal. I'm not sure. Either way, took me a few tries, but I did defeat him. And I rung another bell he was guarding. So yeah. After that, I decided to look around a bit more, where I found this frog boss, who I wouldn't say it was difficult. He was like, he was actually pretty easy. Anyway, I went past her where I actually rang the bell, and fought that guy. Then I see this, basically another monkey who looks like he's having trouble with a snake thing. So I decided to help him out, and after defeating him, I was actually able. Turns out he's someone I can go to upgrade a few of my stuff. Like for instance, he can upgrade my drinks and stuff. But I didn't learn that till later. Uh, Mainly because I'm an idiot. So yeah. But anyway, I went to him to upgrade most of my like drink potions and stuff to make sure I can drink more of the stuff. Then after that, I meet this another snake guy, but he looked more humanish. And first try, I defeated him, but it turns out he had a second phase, which again, first try, I defeated him. Mainly because I thought, hey, he would move the same way as the snake guys, because they are one fast bunch, and no matter what I did, they always get me. Like, seriously, got bad. I didn't get to the third build till I was in the second chapter, because I was mostly focused on the story. But but I'm still gonna like show you like the basically what I had to do to get to over there. Turns out I just had to turn left to where I fought this guy to ring the final bell. Then after that, I actually fight Jingshi, the guy who made the temple in the first place, and he looks exactly like the blue-faced guy. He he is just as difficult as he was. Luckily, since fighting the blue-faced guy, you actually learn a few of the move sets he does, and it does help you. Problem is, when he gets to like his half health, well, he summons some minions to try to heal him, which was difficult to do because there was a bunch of people at once that I had to defeat. Luckily, though, after you like hurt them, they heal you instead of him. Problem is, he still healed a bit when I fought him. Then after after defeating him, he kind of looked sad of leaving, or at least dying and stuff. But still, after he did that, I got a mantle. Well, basically, that made me fireproof. That will definitely be useful in the long run and in the future of a few boss fights. Because let me tell you, it can get really difficult without it. Anyway, after that, you basically go to where you fight the snake guy and goes actually inside the temple, where you go into this cave and everything, and of course, fight a few guys and everything till you reach this certain point where you see a big door, and as soon as you go through it, you see this monk-like man, and who basically is the final boss of the chapter, just in human form, talking about how he rebuilt the temple and all that stuff, of doing all that, basically acting like the boss. And of course, you fight him, and it took me a few tries to defeat him. I can't remember, it was like 3 or 4 tries. But so far the only boss I was difficult on was Blueface one, and yeah, basically that. You still go through a lot of bosses, but still, easier said than done. Anyway, after defeating the guy, he basically says, this ain't over yet, and if you want to fight me, meet me at the summit. And of course, he runs away. Basically, like the coward he really is. Anyway, the old man shows up again, and he teaches you a new kind of trick, Cloud Step, which is actually pretty useful. Well, basically, it makes you invisible to others while they fight a little clone of yourself that's a statue. Ooh, and it does prove useful, distracting, and making sure I can heal. So, really helped out. Anywho, after that I decided to follow him, and I had to go through so many of his people. Instead of like using cloud step just to go past him, I decided to fight every single one, and I did get a lot of XP from it. Till eventually I reach the summit and I face him as he really is, which looks like a very big black bear who looks like a Buddhist. Then, after you defeat him, he basically acts like the coward he is, basically groveling on his feet, basically asking you to spare him, and in return he gives you the relic. And it looks like you spare him, but in truth, I wouldn't actually want to, because one of those moments where you know he's going to do something bad again. But anyway, you get the relic, that basically looks like the same kind of bird WUKONG transformed into in the beginning of the story. Actually, the beginning of the game, anyway. Then after that, you see a little cutscene and stuff, basically the temple's origins, or anyway, Jingshi's origins, and his life going through that. And you see how greedy he really was, thanks to the same black bear, I'm pretty sure. And you basically see how the temple gets burned because of him. So yeah. Then after that, you see like a little mural. Then you hear the old monkey talk again. But it does look really cool. Then after that, you go to chapter 2, which by far I've played the longest in than any other chapter, mainly because, again, I am an idiot. So yeah.
At last,